Good morning, everyone. We are back today for our second episode discussing the role of the DMC and its new value proposition. Shortly, Heidi from the My Guru will join me on the Instagram Live, and today we've prepared a new topic for you, which we will introduce shortly. Here she is, Heidi. Yeah, hi Heidi. Good morning.
Hello, Lina. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Yeah, new topic, Tuesday, second out of the five that we have planned for this week. So today's topic is how to do a live virtual venue showcase. So it's not just virtual, but it's live virtual, which makes it all more exciting. And I see Tina there. Hi, Tina. And Church House Conference joined as well. So today is just the perfect episode for destination management companies, for hotels and destinations, how to engage remote audience and showcase their properties and destinations. So just a brief introduction. Two weeks ago during the Event Stock Digital Festival, you showcased us your destination, the Stavanger region, and the venue. I try to learn how to pronounce it, but please correct me if I'm right, if I'm wrong. Solastranden Gard.
Solastranden Gård. Close enough.
Yeah, so that's the venue, and yeah, it was fantastic. So today you will tell us how you designed this virtual live venue showcase. So let's start from the very beginning. What was the first thought that crossed your mind before doing it, and how different the live virtual venue showcase from the webinar or the online presentation that you give to your clients?
Well, the first thought is always, let's do something cool.
Yeah.
Let's do something new. Let's try and present ourselves and the destination and the venue in a new, fresh way, right? We try to do that with our clients all the time, push them out of their comfort zone, have some new ideas, be a little more innovative. So that was the first thoughts behind this, obviously. Compared to a webinar or online presentation, an online a live virtual venue showcase is literally more active. A seminar would be more sedentary, so you are sitting in one place, you are presenting to your audience, often a predefined audience that has to register to follow your webinar or your presentation. Of course, you would engage them as well, but in a very different way. So a live showcase, you actually take your audience with you. You want them to join in on the action. You are moving around. You are showing things in real time as they are, and you engage your audience by literally talking to them, asking them questions, etc. So it's a very different approach to showing a venue or destination or a hotel or whatever it may be.
Okay. And so let's talk about the differences between the live virtual and the virtual venue tour, because virtual venue tour is not new. We've seen it before. It's on websites. You can do it with like a virtual reality. You can do like 360, but live gives it another level, like another new dimension. So can you talk about the differences? And yeah.
Of course. First of all, I mean, we've had so much new terminology tossed around between us in the event profs community lately, like the differences between live events, virtual, digital, all these things are coming into play now. But if you get confused, live, just stick to the literal translation. Live means in real time. So if you have a live event either happening where the participants are at the same place or it's happening virtually, if it's live, it means it's in real time and it's not pre-recorded content that is being shared. So that's the most the most important aspect to differentiate between the two. And then virtual is anything that's not physically happening. In the case of hybrid events, of course, we have both sides. But if you think virtual in its original form, it's literally something that doesn't physically exist. And in our case, in the events world, it's mostly that your participants are not physically present, so they are joining in remotely. That's basically what it is. So if we combine the two, the live and the virtual, we are going to showcase something in real time. So we are not recording beforehand to then share with our audience, but we are bringing the audience at the same time as we are there at the venue or whatever we're showcasing, and we engage them to be a part of that event.
So that could be a possibility for future fan trips. So for example, you would have about 6 people at a destination, and then you will do a live virtual venue showcase and have a bigger audience, right? So there is definitely potential for the future.
Definitely. Something we're looking into at the moment.
And what was your kind of design process? Have you made like a storyboard, or it was all in your head? How did you go about it?
I have a lot of stuff in my head, No, actually, I approached it as in the same way as you would approach any client event. Basically, first of all, you need to ask yourself the question, who is my audience? Who is the client audience? But in this case, our audience. Who am I doing this for? What is the message that I want to send out to this audience? What is it that inspires them? How can I create a story around this? And how can I deliver that message to that audience? So those are the key questions to ask yourself before even starting on producing any type of showcase. In this case, for the digital festival, our audience was the event profs community. So I really wanted to think, okay, what are event professionals interested in? What will inspire them? It's not just a venue, like nobody sitting around the world will see a building and say, oh my God, I need to go and do an event in Norway. It has to be about more than that. You need to create a story around it. So it has to be useful information for those event profs. You have to educate in some way, inspire them, and also bring an idea to life. So that's the first part. And then in this case, it was an example of a live venue showcase, but we wanted to make it about more than just a venue. So we decided to introduce the destination as a whole. So we work in Norway. In this case, it was the destination of Stavanger, and we wanted to present this destination together with the venue, together with the concepts. So we went in different directions. What kind of concept to use? You think about different topics that you could approach, and in this case, it was focused on sustainability. So what do we do then? We start thinking about, okay, if I want to convey the message that our destination is sustainable and we can do amazing green events here, where would I go? What would I like to show? And how can I combine several factors like accessibility, food, gastronomy? How can I combine that into the same story? So then you start considering different locations, different venues, and I also want to think about where I will be, what the surroundings will be, what will it look like? Will it look nice enough for the audience? And then you decide on the destination, on the venue, and you contact that partner, you reach out to them, you have your initial discussion, you share your idea, what you would like to do, very importantly, what's in it for them, like the value for them. And then you have a discussion. And if you agree on in that initial phase, you will go on site and check out if your ideas, after designing it in your head or in a storyboard, as you said, if it can work out in reality. So basically, in the designing phase, you want to detail the concept even further, right? So you want to think about what you will talk about, what you will show, how it will set up, which partners you need, not only to show the venue itself and the details of the venue, but to create an engaging atmosphere. So in this case, we decided on the food setup. So we had a table set up with a sustainable food, which linked to the destination, the farm itself. The venue is originally a farm. And then we brought in DJ Taste It to create a good vibe. So everybody feels good and has a good time. So there were a lot of comments of people dancing throughout the showcase. So we bring together all of these factors, discuss with everybody involved how they can contribute, what we need for them to be a part of it, how we can create a value for them. And then we do a few tests in terms of the platform used, in this case Instagram Live. So I would go around the venue and do my story and check out what is actually visible around me, where I go, what do I talk about, what do I need to take into account, connectivity, etc., etc. So we do a few test runs, and then on the actual day we prepare as if it were an actual event, pre-production. So basically we set up and then go live.
It was amazing. I think no one expected actually the food, the table to set up. So we'll talk about it specifically later, but it was just, I posted a couple of photos on LinkedIn. It was just incredible. And Tina is asking, do you have a case study for the live venue showcase you did?
I can share it with you. Yes, sure.
Yeah, okay. So I haven't seen anything like this before. And I must say, as someone who attended it, you could see that a lot of time, a lot of work has gone into this, into the planning, because you could also see the collaboration with the partner, with the venue partner who you interviewed, who did the setup, and the DJ. Everything was so well organized and so seamless experience. It wasn't an empty venue, because we don't want to see an empty venue. It was all set up. There was food, there was atmosphere, and it was just very, very unique and well.
Did you make your kimchi yet, Irina?
No, actually I'm planning to do it today, because it took me some time to get the ingredients for the fish sauce to make the vegan version, but I got all the vegetables and I'm planning to do it today. So
I will join you.
Yeah, it will be very delicious, I'm sure. And so yeah, you touched on it a little bit already, but like, what tools and platforms did you use for the showcase? So you said Instagram you used. I know that you also had a selfie stick, because you had to hold it for a very, very long time, for an hour. And those who haven't done live on Instagram, so Instagram gives you just 1 hour slot. You can't go over an hour. So if you decide to do it on Instagram, you have to stick to this time frame. So yeah, what else did you use?
1 hour is more than enough for for an Instagram live stream. Otherwise, it becomes too long, obviously. But the idea of using Instagram Live was obviously in connection to the digital festival. You did an amazing job in organizing the digital festival, and that was the first time that had been done as well, to connect the Event Profs community over social media and have that many sessions everywhere on social media live streaming on Instagram or Twitter chats, or in all those on all those channels, without being restricted to one platform that you would need to log into or pre-register to. It was a whole new way of doing things, and I applaud you for that. It was amazing. So in connection to the digital festival, we also wanted to do an Instagram live stream. It is a little risky and it is a little scary if you involve more elements than just sitting and talking as we are doing now. You never really know what's going to happen. But in the same time, the community we did this for was very open-minded, and especially now we all are looking for more authenticity.
Yes.
We want to try out things together. We want to see how it works out. Is it something to go forward with or not? And we are basically inspiring each other along the way and seeing what the difficulties are and how we can resolve them. So it was a very, very interesting approach to use the live stream on Instagram for that. This is also public, right? So if it was for a client or if we did a private showcase, obviously we would not choose Instagram Live as a platform, but there are many other tools that can be used. So we've been testing lots of broadcasting softwares, technologies and tools that can be used one-on-one, privately, or with a group of people who are your client for an event. So that's the most important, I believe, in this case, and I think we should definitely continue doing that. Continue doing live streams with the community and on all different topics. I believe it works very, very well, and the feedback has been so amazing. Every part of it.
And Rebecca is asking, have you recorded? I would love to watch it. And let's tell everyone what happened in the end.
That was actually, I was going to talk about the difficulties, but in this case, I do have some recordings and a lot of pictures. I did a short version afterwards. But what happened to us is that in the final 2 minutes of the 1 hour live stream, it was literally finished. We were literally saying goodbye. And Instagram blocked us on copyright issues. So we had a DJ playing. Obviously, that is something to take into consideration, and the DJ did an amazing job at mixing and bringing original mixes, which is totally fine. But there was one song that played just like a few seconds too long, and we got kicked out of the live stream, which didn't allow us to save the actual showcase. So these are small issues that will arise. These are things to take into account if you're planning to do something that involves music on any live stream platform. We already know that. We need to be careful about those copyright issues. But I will definitely, I've shared some smaller versions of it. I've shared also the process behind it on YouTube. So please send me a DM afterwards or check my Instagram page, and you will find a lot of information about the venue showcase there.
Excellent. And we have a comment from Eventual Lise. Oh no, but thank you for the advice. And Tina commented, that's such a good and important advice. Yes, we usually learn from our mistakes, so that was a very good learning.
That's what's so fun about this. We're in this together, and we're learning a lot of stuff every day.
And what I say at the moment is that now is the time to learn, because the level of tolerance for mistakes is pretty high at the moment, because we are all testing the new platforms and we are all learning, and that's the time to experiment, because in a couple of months, when it's the normal and it's the standard and it's expected, people will not tolerate when something this happens, especially when we talk about clients. So it's very, very important to test all these platforms now. And
don't be scared to take the risk and go for it. It's a trial and error period. Everybody knows that, and you want to learn as quickly as you possibly can. So don't be afraid to try it out. There are so many people who are reluctant to go live or to try any kind of new platform because of how they will look, because they feel they don't have enough knowledge about it. Just go and try it. And as you said, Irina, experimenting is key in this period.
Yes. And so you had a very engaged audience online when doing the show. And how did you interact with the remote audience? Because now it's quite easy. We see it, we can read the comments, but then I have to imagine you going around the venue, talking, explaining, and then someone writes a comment. Like, how did you do it? It's like, it's a multitasking at a high level.
You clone yourself. No, basically I used our two accounts, our two Instagram accounts. So I have my personal one and I have one of the company. So I was basically switching between those two accounts. In the beginning, I was doing literally the tour where you could see me and the venue and the manager of the venue, and we discussed a few things. I was walking around everywhere. I started literally on the beach, so I was showing the surroundings, and then went into the venue and we talked about the food. And then afterwards, I basically focused one account on the DJ and the music and the atmosphere, and then I joined in from the other account. And oh, excuse me, there is some drilling going on outside here. Can you hear that?
Yeah. No, we can still hear you.
We'll make this very virtual and move around a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, so basically we did that with two accounts, and the other one at the end of it, I basically joined in on the live feed of the account, and I started joining in on the comments, so chatting with the audience rather than basically just talking to you.
Yeah.
In the
yes,
comment box.
So like it was about 1 hour of showcase, and then the first half an hour you did all the walking, is then you placed the camera not facing you, facing the DJ, and then you asked, okay, so what do you want to know? And I found it brilliant.
Yeah, wonderful.
So Rebecca is asking, didn't you have any internet issues? You mentioned you were on the beach, as I guess you would need to have a very good internet, or would it be okay just with 4G?
Well, 4G is generally sufficient, but of course you would need a connection. So we have generally quite good internet everywhere here in Norway, but it depends on where you are, obviously, and also I would not be able to do that on any beach. So I had to check beforehand if I have mobile data and if I have connectivity on the beach that we were trying to showcase. Because it's not internet is not available everywhere, obviously, and yeah, it is an important factor. The venue was not an issue because they have very strong Wi-Fi. It's a conference venue, everything is amazing, but yeah, outdoors is always a risky thing.
Yeah,
definitely a good question, and a very important factor to consider when you do live streams.
So you tested it before, yeah?
Yeah, I went on site before, did a couple of test runs, and checked if my mobile would allow me to go live.
Yeah. Okay, and then you entered the venue. So you started on the beach, I remember, and you also very nicely showed where is the airport, I remember, right? How do you get to the venue? So you started kind of that we don't know where is Stavanger, and it just was so like basic. And I also remember you also said how many connecting flights are getting into the airport, right? So it was brilliant. And then you took us almost you took us by hand, yeah, to the venue. And at the venue, what elements were very important for you to highlight and showcase in this 1 hour? Because also, I mean, you mentioned sustainability, so you chose the topic, but was it like the setup? Was it the food? Was it the brightness of the venue, the view from the window? What was your singing process?
It was a combination of all of that, and specifically the story again, right? The bigger story. So as an advice to all of you venues out there and hoteliers, don't make it just about the rooms or what you have in terms of facilities. It is boring. Nobody wants to know. Nobody wants to walk through your 32 meeting rooms. Create a story. Bring in a local DMC. Create an event out of it, and bring in a few other partners to create a storyline and to make it exciting. So as I mentioned, for this audience, it wasn't important to show them one venue. That is not a decisive factor for anybody to pick a destination. But it was important for me to inspire people to come to Norway in the first place. Why would you come to Norway? Why would you come to Stavanger, the fjord destination on the west coast that we were talking about? And then the key elements there, apart from sustainability, was accessibility. It's an all-in-one destination. You have beaches, fjords, high-level gastronomy. So we tried to bring together all of these elements to have those event profs watching consider the bigger picture and realize, okay, this is something that could work for me. We are trying to cater to a wider audience. That venue works for everything from conferences to product launches. I show the carport. You can drive in with cars, which is often needed for automotive clients. You can do weddings out there. I mean, any type of event planner can get some kind of use out of the information that we are sharing. So it has to be about more than just a specific location. And obviously also about us, our creativity, what we can do, how we can design concepts for you and the services we provide. But never, ever, ever make yourself the first beneficiary. If you are doing a showcase, make sure that the value is about everything and not just you. Do not present yourself as selling yourself, but sell everything around you, basically, in such a nice way that people are inspired and want to go there and want to come to you. They will come to you automatically.
So you showcased the venue, and then you moved a little bit around the room, and then suddenly you come and you show us the table. So for the virtual audience, like, you created an amazing setup with some pancakes, right? With some, was it a beetroot juice, and like a beautiful setup with vegetables for about, what, 6 or 9 people? And I think like everyone was surprised. Like, I remember in the comments, it was like, wow, 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 wow. Like, everyone was commenting. So how did you convince the venue to do this for the virtual audience?
Well, it is, of course, a discussion that we had with them, but we tried to inspire them and show them the overall value of what we're trying to do. So we told them what we want to do in terms of creating this event as a bigger story, not just showing the venue, but a story, because that is the reason that event profs abroad, international people, will be interested to discuss this specific venue and the destination. So we inspire them in many ways. It's a lot about the relationships. So you need to, we mentioned that yesterday as well, you need to have very close relationships with your partners, have friendly relationships, and you do favorites for each other. Exactly. So they know that something eventually will come out of it. I will come back to them with a certain type of event. I will use their venue again, and they have a way to showcase themselves to an audience that is different than the one they already have. So we inspired them. We sent, in this case, pictures of table setups. We showed them, like, look, imagine if you could do this, if we could, you know, do a little bit more than just showing a table setup or an empty table. How about we bring some food into the picture and create the story about the sustainable food in the destination and the actual farm venue.
And let's go back one step. Natalia is asking, what will be other differentiation for the supplier after the first virtual step? Do you think it is important to introduce local people involved?
In terms of international showcases like we did here, it is of course required to mention them, but I don't believe it is necessary to go in too much detail, because as I said, when you are presenting a venue, you want it to be about the destination in itself, you want it to be about the bigger picture. And just as if you're doing a networking event or you're at a fair discussing your destination, you will not present a single venue. You will present what you can do in the destination and which venues that would suit your concept or your idea. So of course we want to thank the venue, but we thank them by bringing them business, not necessarily by pointing at the venue or putting our clients in direct contact, because that's not what they want either. So that's not beneficial to anybody in this case.
Yeah, very interesting. Okay, and now let's get to the most important question for many venues, destinations, and DMCs watching. Have you had an ROI from it? It was just 2 weeks ago, so we can't expect bookings yet, but did you find it worthwhile? And of course, did you have any increased awareness, new followers, you educated new audience and introduced a destination? Have you considered or looked at the number of views, the comments, the likes? What's your ROI from it?
I've received a lot of feedback, and that is the most important to me. It's about feedback from the right people in the community. It's not about the number of views. It's not about the people joining in live or even afterwards. It's about how the message is spread after what you did, and how you continue that discussion, and how it becomes a topic of discussion for many people in the community. Like what we are doing now, we are still talking about this venue showcase from the digital festival because it's an interesting topic, and because many people have asked us about it. So for me, the return on this is amazing. I've gotten so many messages asking, how did you do it? Like, would you advise us to do it like this or like that? Or are you planning to do more of them? Oh, that was so exciting. Or you a part of it next time, you know? So a lot of engagement has come out of this, and that is the most important factor. We will definitely do more of them, but we are also working towards the virtual site inspection, the live virtual site inspection, and the FAM trips. And this will obviously not be as public as this one has been. And also, in case we do more public showcases or showcase other venues or destinations, we would need in the long term some type of financial support, because we are investing in producing those showcases. And just as your job, I mean, you are creating content, you are marketing your destination, you are marketing partners, so you need to have a certain financial support to do that over and over again. Of course, now everybody is doing everything for free and testing things and showing people around, but on the long term, when we go back to our full production schedules, it will be impossible to set aside so much time to produce free things, and everybody knows that. So we're moving towards that we actually use this as a type of service that we offer clients, but also in collaboration with CVBs, destinations, hoteliers, venues, etc.
Yes, and a comment from Naomi. Yes, I want to go to Norway now. Such a beautiful destination. I never knew how amazing the destination is as an event prof. So Heidi, I think you made us all fall in love with Norway and with Stavanger.
You're all very welcome.
Yeah, so definitely we were all introduced to a very beautiful destination of the beaten path that many of us haven't heard of before. And it was very inspiring. It was very new and fresh. And now with the focus on sustainability, it's also good to know a sustainable destination. So yeah, it was a very beautiful concept. And
thank you so much.
If to the online audience, if you have any questions, please, that's your time to ask, because we have one more question left, and then we'll conclude our live. And just I want to add, Heidi, before you mentioned that the DMCs need the support of the Convention Bureau and the financial support, and this is a topic that we will discuss on Thursday, how the DMC contributes to destination marketing. So we will focus entirely on this topic of destination promotion.
Exactly.
So
and tomorrow, and tomorrow we put the focus on sustainability even more. So tune in for that as well.
Yes. And last question: would you continue doing it, which you already said yes. And what are the lessons learned that you'll improve for next time?
Well, we discussed it briefly, something about copyrights and connectivity, but basically the lessons we are all learning right now is choosing the right platforms for the right type of events.
Yes.
So the biggest lesson here is to understand the audience, know what they want, how it should be delivered, and if the focus is on technical production, then obviously you won't do an Instagram live. If the focus is on engaging your event profs community, and most of them are millennials and we're all learning from each other, then Instagram live would be the right way to go. Yes. But this is the most important lesson here. So focus on authenticity when it is required, and focus on professional excellence when it is required. If you do a product launch for a global client and it is streamed all around the world, please don't do it on Instagram live. So I mean, there are many different ways to approach these types of events. And that's what we're all learning about now, and all the different tools we're using and testing will benefit us later on after Corona is over with, yes. Hopefully very soon.
And we have a comment from Natalia saying, great job, Heidi. You'll be my first person to get in touch in Norway. People buy from people. And I agree.
Thank you
Natalia,
so much.
Heidi, you've done an incredible job. I think now you are the face of Norway, so everyone will get in touch with you when people say about Norway.
That's a very big compliment. Thank you. But what Natalia mentioned is actually very interesting, because we discussed this a lot in terms of personal branding. Mm-hmm. It is true that you connect with people, and that it doesn't necessarily matter which organization or company you work for. It is all about relationships. And we have been so great at connecting with each other lately. Even though we don't get to see each other face to face, we have been on so many chats together and seen each other's faces virtually so often over in this last period, and it's been truly inspiring. So thank you to you, Irina, also for bringing everybody together on these occasions.
Yes, maybe I will just conclude with last remarks that also a concept that we also introduced to this live virtual venue tour is just the before, during, and after. So we created a hype before the virtual tour, before as part of the festival, and then we did a live venue tour, and now we keep talking about it in the form of Instagram Live and all the posts. So definitely also the live virtual venue showcase needs some continuity. It's not just it happens once for 1 hour and then it's over. It's important to have all the visual assets, all the texts, all the facts and details, how many rooms, how to get there, and have it like in the video form, in the written form. So because people access information differently at different times, different formats. Mm-hmm. So try to be accessible and provide like bite-sized bits and pieces of information across your social media, if we talk about the showcase on a public domain with the public. So yeah. So thank you very much, everyone. We are coming to the close of our live for today. And tomorrow we will be back at the same time talking about how to incorporate sustainability into a destination experience. So I'm very much looking forward to it. We will have a new set of questions. If you have any questions in advance, feel free to let us know. We'll include them. And we hope to see you all tomorrow at 11 Central European Time.
Thank you so much for joining, everybody. Thank you, Irina. See you tomorrow. Have a great day.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.